Gotta love the blizzard out in the snow, man. Nothing beats these things for just straight up goofing around in the deep powder.
I didn't realize there's a stick there.
Oh yeah. Oh, got traction off of something.
Oh no, that was a stick cap.
I got you.
There it is.
Move that thing down. Taillights are so important.
Oh yeah.
There's no definition on where your vehicle's at without them. Blizzard race.
Yeah. I think you got me. Uh-oh.
It's like a boat. It's like a boat just hydroplaning through that stuff, or like a snowmobile hydroplaning through the water, getting into those footprints. Front end up in the air, and the thing is just scooting along.
That thing's right.
That's like half throttle. The blizzard just takes off, or Samson.
I win in any races, but it does it.
Still motoring along, all right.
Oh, it's flat.
Yeah, Samson's definitely pretty quick.
Oh, I got something. Gravel on the
Under old yonder Ford there. Oh, getting, oh, I got.
Oh, you're
Getting snagged down an exhaust clamp.
Oh no.
Oh, don't hit the trailer. Hey, high mark in the snowbank. Oh, where she goes. Oh, trying to climb up the powder wall. Oh, I think one more and I got it. Oh, I marked it.
There we go.
Oh, you made it up before me. That's not fair.
Very slow and steady here. Oh, you stumped it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a hole. A little bit of a hole there. Oh, that's crap. Oh, then mine makes it up it. I must have broke it in for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Lightweight vehicles do better in deep snow.
Yes, it is.
Like I said, I think those metal tracks would really just drag it right on down to the bottom.
I can't see the metal tracks doing any good.
Great for plowing your driveway, I'm sure, but. Yeah, it's racing it.
Hey, it is boogie around.
Oh, another bushes. That's a burning bush or something. That's so much fun. Oh, another bird feeder. Or light pole or whatever the pole there. There's all kinds of tracks on that hill. The drag race one.
Alright.
First one of the tree up there and back.
Alright.
Or the little
bush?
burning bush, yeah.
Alright.
Ready? 1, 2. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. Sorry.
Not much of a contest.
There you go. Cyclops. Yeah, I left the mountain there where I got stuck. A little turnaround now. There's the shredding. Go for the fire pit. Samson's running away from you. So much easier to drive without the blade on it.
Oh, that's what it is.
Not rustling that thing around. Oh, getting up in the leaves and sticks.
What we had there. Yeah.
Samson's a frosty looking truck here.
It's slow from the start, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Frosty. Sticks holding up.
Hit the controller.
Blew off the vehicle, set it on top of the workbench here. Went to go grab my controller. Accidentally bumped the left stick. Jumped it right off of the tool bench or workbench, right down onto the floor. Landed back here, broke one of our rear bogey wheel brackets. Just snapped that baby right in half. Cold temperatures. Body's destroyed. Samson body is no more.
Look at the frost.
Broke that thing in half. You got a little bit of frost in there. I mean, but it's like nothing. Look at mine, man.
Oh yeah, yours is really.
Mine is just frosted.
Holy cow.
Super frosted. Yeah, it is super cold out there. Icy. No more Samson body on the Blizzard. That little one off is coming off.
Yeah, that's it for Samson.
Yeah, that's it for Samson. 1 week later. Here is what's left of our vintage Radio Shack Samson body. Not being sponsored by anybody, but this is the vehicle that it came from, a Radio Shack 4x4 Samson. And yeah, pretty bummed out about that whole little ordeal of jumping that guy off the workbench. One of the biggest bummers about that whole thing was not seeing it happen, facing the wrong direction when it happened. That kind of bummed me out as well. So here's what's left of our Samson body, unfinished project. I did have plans of putting a tonneau cover on there. I had plans of putting wheel wells in front and rear, as well as plans of recessing or countersinking some 1-inch rectangular light bars into the fists themselves. I didn't tell anybody about that. Well, I told a couple of close friends about that. But I was planning on keeping that for a surprise, and it's obviously never going to happen. So there's what's left of our Radio Shack Samson body. Let's take a quick peek at what this thing looked like originally before I put the body on the Blizzard. Quick look at the original vehicle. Yeah, it looked kind of beater. The body definitely looked a lot better on the Blizzard than it did on that Radio Shack truck. Alright, so there we go on the Samson body. I have since repaired the Blizzard, our rear bogey wheel support bracket, which was plastic part BL6, blue Lincoln 6, and it was right around $6 US for that part. The part bag BL6 actually came with 3 different plastic parts, our 1 bogey wheel support bracket that we needed, and 2 other parts that we didn't necessarily need. But $6 US, not bad all in all, cheap repair. And that was the first part that I've ever broken on this vehicle in the 3 years of ownership. So here's what's left of our Samson body. Let's take a look at our new body. Introducing Samson's replacement. Any guesses as to what it is? Probably not. And there we go, the Midnight Blizzard. So we took an old school Tamiya Midnight Pumpkin body, vintage Tamiya Midnight Pumpkin body, and mounted it on the Blizzard chassis. Perfect fit for this Blizzard all the way around. Awesome body. I wish I put this one on there before the Samson body. Great fit. Great approach angles on the front. Our tracks stick out just a wee bit further than the front of the body, so it gives us great approach angles hitting snowbanks. Same thing on the back. Our rear tracks stick out just a little bit further than the back of the body, so it gives us great departure angles on the rear. Awesome fit all the way around with this body. Good scale fit for the Blizzard chassis. And a good scale fit with the Kyosho Trail King as well. These two vehicles look great side by side. Custom body mounts front and rear on this vehicle. I end up using a Traxxas Hawk rear body mount and a door hinge on the front. Just a cheap door hinge identical to this one, which came from an old TV cabinet. I was going to use solid body posts on the front, but due to the shape of our hood and the location of the body post, I'd have to put a post right about here on the inside of the chassis, and another one right about here on the inside of the chassis, and that would bring the posts up right about through here on the curve of the hood. It's not very feasible to put a body pin in on the curve of a hood, and it doesn't look very well either. So I went with a door hinge instead. I had to remove the front bumper on the front of the vehicle as well, just because it was causing some binding issues with tilting our body forward. We could only tilt our body forward about 2 inches before that bumper would start to bind with the chassis. So I had to remove the bumper as well as grinding off the lower bumper mounts on the body. So no front bumper on the body, ground off the mounts right there and right there. The hinge is fastened to the chassis with 2 M3mm screws and 2 M3 lock nuts attached to the body in the same fashion. We also have headlights installed in our factory buckets, a couple of 5mm bulbs installed in the back of the buckets, so we have headlights on the vehicle, which is nice. Moving around to the back of the vehicle, custom LEDs on the back of the vehicle. No LED light buckets on the back of these old school Midnight Pumpkins. Not too sure about the new ones, but I know on the old ones, no LED light buckets. All we have are these fake taillight housings back here. So what I did is I used a couple of 3mm bulbs. These were white LED bulbs. I painted them red with a red Sharpie, or red magic marker, drilled a hole through the center of our fake taillight housings, and then just inserted the bulb through the back half of the housing. Put a little bit of shrink wrap on the back half of it to kind of hold it in place. drilled a hole through on either side of the body back here to run the wires back into the body, and then have them taped up on the inside. And it kind of completes the look on the back half of the light housing back there, making it look a little bit neater where the wire goes back into the chassis. So custom LEDs on the rear. Since these were white bulbs and they were painted red with a red magic marker, they kind of light up a little bit of a reddish purplish glow. It looks like a set of blue dots on an old classic car, so it's very fitting for this body. I also removed the rear bumper on the back of the vehicle just to match up with the front. So let's pop the hood open here real quick on it. Use my elbow. Body hinges forward very conveniently. Nice. Rear body mount. Once again, Traxxas Hawk rear body mount. So good luck finding one of those. And I used 4 M3 screws to hold that in place with 4 M3 lock nuts as well. Fastened to the back of the chassis. Yeah, it looks pretty ugly. But once we get our inner fender wells put in place on the body, you'll never see any of the stuff underneath it. Battery cover, I'm still using that homemade plastic panel to cover up the batteries for the time being. Once we get our wheel wells put in place on the vehicle, once we get our inner wheel wells put into place, you won't be able to see any of the stuff underneath. You won't be able to see the body mount, you won't be able to see that plastic cover, and we won't be able to see any of the stuff underneath on the front either. So we're not quite finished with it as of yet. Taking a look at that front body mount. Once again, just a cheap door hinge up there on the front, mounted to the front grille, and you can see our LED headlights in the front as well. Pretty clean little setup there, all in all. Let's get our cover taken off, plug our lights in, and see what it looks like all lit up here. Putting quite a bit of pressure on the front with the weight of the body all leaning forward like that. I don't like leaving it hanging forward for very long. Normally this vehicle would run on 2 lithium polymer batteries, 2 2S batteries, but for the purpose of powering on the lights, we only need 1. Very simple LED light hookup here. Just have a S connector coming off the receiver, going to a simple on-off switch, leading back out to this wire right here, which gets plugged into the lights coming off of our body. Excuse our camera angles. Body pins down nice and conveniently, very easy. Alright, let's kill our lights and see what our lights look like. Taking a peek at our LED tail lights. Once again, these were white LED bulbs that were painted red with a red marker. So it kind of gives them that reddish, purplish glow. You can almost see like a purplish hue coming off the back edge over here, which gives it that old school blue dot look that you would see on an old classic car. Back around to the front, just some cheap blue LEDs on the front for the time being. I plan on getting a set of Yeah Racing ultra bright white LEDs in the future. So just temporary with our blue LEDs on the front. But at least we have headlights front and rear, which is nice. The Samson body did not have headlights, so we're moving in the right direction with this one. Open our body back up and get her all unplugged here. Excuse my arm being in the way. Disconnect our battery. So the body isn't quite complete as of yet. We still have to make inner fender wells for the rear and for the front. The back's going to be pretty easy. All I need is a black plastic panel to go from point A to point B and box off our existing rear fender to create an inner fender well. So the back's going to be pretty easy. Front is going to be a little bit more difficult to create that one. Alright, looking at the inside of the body on our rear wheel well, our little gap right here, all I need is a plastic panel to go from one side of the wheel well to the other and fill up this gap in between here. And that'll give us a nice, or give us an illusion of having a inner fender well on the inside of the vehicle. So the back should be pretty easy to take care of. Front's going to be a little bit more difficult, just because we have a larger cavity right up in this area to fill. So we need something to take up that gap on the front of the vehicle. And for that, we're going to need something like an old vitamin container such as this, where we would take and cut the bottom half of the container off like that, and then cut it right through the middle like this. And that would give us two inner fender halves. They'd basically be sitting kind of like this on either side, if that makes any sense. So we need a vitamin container to create our front fender wells. Back ones should be pretty easy. We just need a plastic panel, once again, to go from point A to point B. And that'll fill in this little gap across here, giving us the illusion of having an inner fender well. And as far as our front and rear inner fender wells go, I'm going to have to wait until springtime in order to install those. I need to do some custom painting and custom gluing to get those put into place. And I need warmer weather before we can do that. But for the time being, the vehicle is 100% usable, and we will be using it for the rest of the winter. Let's grab the Trail King real quick and set it up next to the Midnight Blizzard and see how these guys look side by side. Here's a quick look at the Kyosho Trail King sitting next to the Midnight Pumpkin body. Great scale fit once again. 1/12 scale Midnight Pumpkin body, 1/12 scale Kyosho Trail King. Cab, just about the same size on both vehicles. Overall width of the body, just about the same on both vehicles. Overall length, just about the same. Perfect scale fit side by side. So these two should play together pretty good. So there we go, boys and girls. There is a first peek at our new Midnight Blizzard body. Let me know in the comment area what you think of this vehicle. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Did you like Samson better? Do you think Samson looked better on top of this body, on top of the chassis versus the Midnight Pumpkin? I don't think so. I think this one looks pretty darn good. Pretty darn sharp all the way around. But let me know what you think in the comment area. Either way, we're going to be seeing this guy out in the snow very soon. Very much appreciated for y'all sticking around and watching the video, and we will see you all on the next one. Thanks again.